Not going to tell me what we're talking about.
We're just going to talk about the visit that we just had, and just like, I wanted to talk a little bit about like recognizing the anxiety of it, like even at this point, and
Okay.
those things. So. Oh.
You want to be on camera? It's over there.
You need to go lay down.
Now Lauren has to edit all of this.
Ugh.
There we go.
That's going to go over well.
You can't lay on the tripod.
Watch
I guess
me.
you can. Oh boy. All right. Sorry, Lauren.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. What's new in your life?
Nothing.
Really?
Well, I mean, new? No. I mean, we had a big wedding that we went to this weekend, which was nice.
That was
Got
fun.
to see a lot of people we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And that's about new, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our daughter got engaged.
Oh, that's new. Sorry, Seth. Yes. So that was exciting. That was cool.
Yeah. So it was her group of friends that the wedding that we were at too. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And
All of that just meshed into one for me. Yeah.
okay. Good. Good. Well, I thought we'd talk a little bit today about recurring appointments or going to appointments. I just had my meeting with my oncologist just a day ago, actually. And it kind of brought up some things that I was thinking about in terms of just like, even though I've been doing this for so long, like there is anxiety around it, right? Mm-hmm. So
My chest hurts driving into that damn town every time I'm not going to a football game.
really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just like your body remembers, right? Mm-hmm. And so I didn't know that was true for you too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just weird. Like I do a PET scan. That's how I am monitored. And I did that last week, and it went as it always does. Terrible.
It's not funny.
It's not funny because it doesn't get better, and it's ridiculous. And
So tell us why.
well, so the first thing, I mean, again, I'm a healthcare provider. I've worked in healthcare, I've worked in the schools a lot, but as an OT, I've also worked in healthcare. So I get to this appointment, and the very first thing this girl says to me is, "Have you ever had the scan before?" And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Because,
Yeah.
I've had a bunch. And it's just kind of like, it was a situation where I'd driven a long way to get there. I'd been in a lot of traffic. It was late. It was, you're always worried about being late, all that kind of stuff. And that a PET scan can change your life. Mm-hmm. And your body knows, right? So to get in there and have this girl, and she was young, just go, "Oh, have you ever had a scan before?" It's like, and I think I responded something like, "Do you have access to my chart?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, but," and I said, "I've had a bunch, It just bothers me. Mm-hmm. It just makes me upset. And I felt like she was very cheerful and positive and stuff, but she also was like, "I don't care what you're saying," like la 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 kind of thing. And then of course with the PET scan, like they put you in a one of those fun little recliner type of chairs because you have to drink contrast and get an injection. So kind of another girl comes in right then, and she's got her iPad in front of her, and she's like, what'd she say? She was even more cheerful than the first girl, which is not
Be
really
effing cheery around Heather. You're gonna get your face ripped off.
Well, she was like, anybody under 55, you can have a pregnancy test if you want one or something. 55 and under, do you want to have a pregnancy test? And I was like,
double whammy this time.
Boom, and like boom, boom, right on top of each other. And I was like, no, I literally can't get pregnant because of breast cancer. And she said, I'm so sorry, honey. And I said...
Oh, the trifecta. Golly, you got them all this time.
I said, don't call me honey. Like, I just was like, my gosh, you have no idea how this all makes me feel.
Yeah.
So
and we've talked about everything that you've just talked about many times before. Or not many times, but we've had episodes on this before. And so I know you're automatically going into those tests going, don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then they do it and it just becomes this, like, gosh, darn it. This just needs to be fixed over and over.
I know.
You know, and it's almost like when you go in and that stuff doesn't happen, which I know is few and far between, it's kind of just a relief.
It is a huge relief. Yeah. And I think the thing, I've been thinking about this, I actually talked to my therapist about it a little bit. I think what they don't understand is like, you know, your body does remember that. It is a traumatic situation. You're so aware of the fact that this test can change your life. And you're acting as if we're
at the dentist or
at the dentist, or
not
it's
even
no big deal, or it's a walk in the park. All of those kind of things where it's like, if you can't take the temperature of the fact that almost every person that you are putting on that table is fully aware of the fact that this test can change the course of their life.
Yeah.
You know? And
you're not a Walmart greeter.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not to say that it should be doom and gloom, but it should have a note of seriousness and respectful.
Please.
And
respectful of the diagnosis. Respectful of the fact that it doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. If you've had testing for anything, you're anxious.
Yes.
And so recognize that, please. You know, it was, whatever. I did my contrast. I don't mind the contrast. It's fine. All that's fine. But here's the other thing. I've been through this test a million times. So we get into the room and lay down on the machine, and they say, can you put your hands over your head? And I said, I can, but I'm going to put them down once, like, the top my first top part gets through. And she goes, well, then you can just put them by your side. And I'm like, okay, great. If you don't really need my hands over my head for a test that's over 20 minutes long and so they're going to fall asleep, my arms are going to fall asleep, then why don't you just put them on my side anyway? You know? And again, those are the kind of things where I just go, have you ever laid on this table? Do you know how it feels? You know? I know my snarkiness got me a couple extra minutes on the table after the test was done. They
Probably
didn't come and get me right away. I don't know if they think that I was stupid enough to think that I didn't know that, but I knew it. Whatever. It just is, ugh, you know? And then, so that was Wednesday. The last thing she said to me was, you'll have your results within 3 business days. And I said, and left, right? I had my results in my portal within the next 24 hours. So that leads us to the portal thing, right?
Yep.
I don't get notifications like on my phone. I turn those off. But I think an email, I was glancing at my email, and it said you have a new test result or something in your portal. And I didn't look at it.
Oh, you did?
I didn't.
I thought you were going to come back with, sorry about saying all this shit to you guys, but I looked.
No. This is my thought process. Again, we had things going on for the weekend. I was like, I don't want to know. I mean, I'm not really worried that something is wrong. I feel pretty good about how things are going, but I just want to have fun this weekend, you know? And I can't remember if it was a Thursday or Friday, but either way, I'm like, I'm not going to track somebody down and figure whatever, you know. So I had I just left it alone. I did look at it about an hour away from Ann Arbor. So, because I was like, well, now I know. Now I know where I'm going, and I can at least... I actually am at the point where I wasn't sure that how much my oncologist would actually review it with me. Because there's been some that just say, like, yeah, it's fine. And we really don't even talk about it at all.
No.
So
or cancer at all.
So I did review it on the way in. And it had, and this is why you don't check them early. It had a statement on it that said there was like a thickening of, I don't know, or thickening in a region in my left, like, thigh or
superior medial, a muscle on. I think you're.
On my left side. I know that, but like again, when we started looking or talking about it and looking exam, we're like, nope, it's not anything. But that would have been a whole weekend of,
what is that?
What is that?
Because you can't not think about it.
Right.
That is impossible.
No, it is impossible. Yeah. So
unless you're on some really heavy drugs or something.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. So I know that nobody follows my advice on portals, but I'm going to stand strong and say I believe that doing it my way is good. It's good for me.
I get this. It's human nature to want to know.
Sure.
That is human. But we all truly, anyone listen to this right now who's had negative results in their portal, which is probably almost all of you.
Yeah.
You know that it did nothing good for you. Only caused more anxiety on the wait time between the portal information and your appointment.
Yeah.
Everybody, there's no way you can deny that. It's not like you did something in the meantime to fix it. Yeah. And most of us don't know exactly what that medical jargon means exactly.
Right. We've talked a little bit about how they can make anything sound bad. Like medical jargon can make anything sound bad. Perfectly healthy.
But it's that getting pulled from, I want to know because I want to read everything's great.
Yeah.
That's what we all want to read is wow, this is the best scan I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Holy crap, you should go run a marathon. You're unbelievable. But it never says that. Never. Especially with metastatic patients. Yeah. I mean, it's just, there's always this gray area in this that it's possibly and stuff. And so, but it's that pull between I want to know and I shouldn't know. It doesn't do me any good to know, but I want to know. But it doesn't, it's hard.
It is really hard. It is hard. But yeah, for me, it kind of I would rather not know and still go under the assumption that things are okay than have this kind of wonky result and go, oh, what do I do with that? Or what is that?
Oh, I don't think they disagree with you. I think almost everybody would say that.
Yeah.
But then that pull of I want to know wins.
I know.
It's the Christmas present under the tree that's a little bit open. And if I just, that's hard.
Yeah.
Hard to act like it doesn't exist.
Well, and that's the other thing I was going to say. I do, aside from like the whole portal thing, I do have to recognize that just my anxiety in general has been higher over the last week. You know, like this, and it comes off in ways where I'm just like, I'm feeling short with people, or I don't know what and I can't always even, I think I really recognized it this weekend. I was able to say, this is me wondering about what's happening, or this is that little bit of worry.
And there's that, which causes, whatever, anxiety and short with people and that kind of stuff. But if you would have read it, it would have, I think, even been worse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. I'm not saying that. No, I think, aside from the portal, even the whole, I guess what I was recognizing was, okay, I've been doing this for 26 years. I've done a lot of scans. We used to scan, every 3 months, right? So I've done a lot of scans, and think I've talked a lot about, how it's not that big of a thing for me. But I'm recognizing that even with it not being that big of a thing, my baseline is not, like, my anxiety is not at my normal base, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, okay.
Is that, like, even kind of like the couple days before, right? Because with a PET scan, like, you're not supposed to work out, and like it just
throws you off.
It's just everything. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Throws you off. It just makes you more aware of it, and then I think your brain does kind of start doing a little work, right? On like, should I get ready? Do I need to prepare? Kind of, and it's a challenge.
And I think I go back to, I don't know when we covered this. It might have been during the 5 to Thrive of, my recommendation, especially with survivors or thrivers that are closer to their treatment or just out of treatment stuff. I truly, truly, truly think you should not have a portal. Your loved one or someone else should manage your portal, which is very doable. You don't have to do it.
Right.
It's not necessary. You would have never got the email. You would have never even known that. It's when you don't know something is there, then the anxiety's not.
Right, but even that other anxiety that I was talking about, just that kind of, I know I'm in a testing phase.
Okay.
That's why I think it's also important to really consider, like, when are you testing? What are you you don't want to do that on a Tuesday before Thanksgiving and have to wait until the Monday after. Like, I think sometimes we feel like we have to say yes to whatever our medical providers say to us in terms of, we're going to scan in 3 months, and that comes out to whatever, maybe it comes out to my birthday, and I go, okay, well, that's going to suck. No, just tell them, hey, can we wait a week, or can we do it 2 weeks earlier?
It's whatever. Not even can we, just tell them to do it.
You need to, yeah.
I'm not going to do it then. I need to schedule next week.
Yeah.
And they just go, okay. They don't
care. I mean, of course you can't put stuff off forever. But, like, I think we are the ones, as patients, we get really wrapped up into, like, everything's got to be done at exactly this timeline. And they're guidelines. The timelines are guidelines. And for God's sakes, live your life, right? Like, don't let this take over, something that...
Which it's gonna push to take over. It is gonna want to take over.
That's what I'm trying to say is let it take over the days that you're just going to work, or you don't have anything big planned, or you're finding that you can't stay present at a family event because you're worried. So. And
I mean, I think of the people I know, I think you handled that really, really well. On the other hand, I would be on the other end of the spectrum on that. You know how I hate surprises. I hate things I can't. I hate the unknown is really bad for me, and it really brings my anxiety up.
Yeah.
Where yours came up a little, but not. So even you've been through it for so many times and all of this, and it still hit you.
Yeah.
And I think other people, it would hit a lot worse.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm saying too, like, be gentle. No, if it's going to hit you hard, like, schedule it at a time where you don't have a lot of other responsibilities, or you don't have to, you're not going to be crying in the corner at a family event because you're thinking, what if the cancer's back?
Yeah.
I've been through all of that. I understand it. It's like, what do how do we handle this to the best of our ability, right? Because it is tough. I mean, even I was thinking about, honestly, like, you did that colonoscopy in, like, August or whatever. And I think I know you were anxious, and I got a little bit of that, and just like, oh gosh, like, I hope this is fine, because we don't want it to be I don't know. Because we've all have had the test that has come back not fine, right?
And I haven't had many tests.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was one where you go, this is kind of when people do get the news, and it's not uncommon to have colon cancer. This is a...
Right. I would say, like, you take very good care of yourself, but you're not the greatest at going to the doctor. You've been pretty neglectful
I
of
was
that.
really, really good until COVID.
Okay.
I was every year doing a physical, doing all the tests, doing that.
Okay.
I did good. And then COVID hit, and I just stopped going for 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
So this is the other thing I was thinking about, because speaking of that, was I realized also that my anxiety was higher because today, so we, like, I actually had the day, this is like post everything, post PET scan, post appointment, everything is kind of like, okay, I'm back in my normal, let's go kind of situation, right? And I was like, oh, I should make a doctor's appointment, like my regular doctor. I have been putting that off since early June. I called them today. It took nothing for me to do that today. Like, it was like, okay, I have the bandwidth now to be able to do this, you know.
And this is, you know, we've given this advice too. If you don't have the bandwidth, if you don't have the time, if you're too close to the fire of all this, have somebody else make that phone call for you.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't put off those things, obviously, because then it bites us.
Yeah.
But, yeah, get help.
Yeah. Our dogs are not happy
I don't know
today.
if you guys can hear them, but my gosh.
they like...
All this licking is not us, just so you know. We aren't making these noises in the background. It's Dumb and Dumber. So, sorry.
Elderly Dumb and Dumber.
We've been talking a lot about anxiety in this, but it goes with the topic.
It's such a big part of, I think too, since I've released the 5 to Thrive guide, it's just become, I don't know, I've been a lot more aware of it lately. I just feel like sometimes, you know, like, it's interesting to kind of watch how things happen, right? Like, I released that guide, and I've had some communication with some different people, and it's just been one of those things.
And those people are in the fire.
Yeah,
they're in the midst of 10 out of 10 fire.
Yeah.
And you're helping them along. Well, that brings you in too.
Yeah, it does. And that's why I don't do it very often. But I also, it's been interesting to me to, again, look at it and go, okay, where I used to be a little more general, now I'm like, no, this. Let's do this specifically. Like, you know, one of the things we talked about was, especially early on, as everybody is processing your diagnosis, and everybody's scared, and everybody's sad, and everybody's all these things. But the fact is, like, I remember, like, we had that first conversation where I said, like, are you scared to be alone? And you said, no, I'm scared to be without you. But after that, I mean, that was like on the first night, I think. After that, almost immediately, I don't remember ever really seeing you freaking out. Like, I think...
I've said that before. I think I was oblivious. I don't get sad when other people do. And I know that's weird. And I feel like, oh, I should be sad right now. I think it's what made me a good coach, is I didn't get emotional when everybody else is freaking out. I was able to focus when these things, it's probably not healthy. I don't know. I probably have some diagnosis of something, but detachment of these stressful situations, I can. Yeah. And I don't know why, and I don't like it all the time.
Yeah.
But I do that, you know, and it's often, and I recognize that I do that. It's not like people tell me. I go, oh no, I'm looking around. Mm-hmm. I think a little bit of that maybe happened then, is just this, I'm just going to kind of pretend like you're going to be around forever, and that's cool. Why think about the other part when, oh, you're still here today. Oh, wake up again. Oh, you're still here today. I think my brain just goes into that mode, and I can't explain it. I don't know. But I should have been more stressed. I should have had more anxiety.
Well, the upside to that, though, was that I wasn't trying to manage your stress, anxiety, sadness on top of my own. You know what I mean? So that's what I was like, that it's so much just to handle yourself in the middle of this, right? In the beginning, where you're like learning that you have cancer, metastatic cancer, that like you can't even wrap your head around it. You were healthy yesterday, healthy a month ago, whatever that looks like. Grieving the loss of this life that you thought you were going to have that is going to look different. Doesn't mean it's going to be terrible. It means it's going to look different, right?
Yep.
All of those things. But like, I've realized that one of the things that I would say is sort of dysfunctional about our families is that we're not like big talkers. We're not big, there's not big emotions. So there weren't big emotions coming at me. Like I know my mom was sad. I know you were, but it wasn't coming at me. And I was able to quickly recognize if it does, I can't handle it. Like, I need you guys to be kind of Pollyanna, like above and beyond in terms of just, I believe, let's go, and not have to.
I give a lot of the credit for this because thinking back to, when you first got the news or those days, and that was really bad. And it got worse, and then having to talk to your mom, and then the families, and then just this fuck. Turns out, they just told my wife she's going to die. So that, and then I give the credit to Dr. Mariver. She literally pulled us out of the depths.
Yeah.
And I went.
Yeah.
But I think I went because you went.
Okay.
I looked at you and went, oh, yeah, because I came home from work that day and you were just a different human. I left that morning and I came back and I'm like, who the hell are you? And what, did you get rid of the cancer already? My gosh. It was just, but it was what those small words can do.
Yeah.
And the giving hope to somebody.
Yeah.
You and I just went with you, and I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Cool. Yeah. That sounds much better than the other shit. So let's go. There was probably some of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just, it was the people that would, it was Dr. Mariver too. It was also like my brother who had just finished medical school, clearly knew what I was up against, who was like, I believe in.
Let's hope. People gave you hope along the ways. Little bits. Oh man, people don't know what those little words, those one sentence or a phrase, how you can still 26 years old or 26 years later quote those phrases. Yeah. And it's something you can hold on to. And I'm just going to hold on to that. And it's one rung up the ladder each time. Yeah. It's just amazing. And that's why it's so disappointing when the tests and that, and it's just like, okay, you're saying the exact wrong things, and don't you just get it? You want to say that, and
you're talking about like this.
Yeah, everybody in it. I thought when we went into the hospital for the doctor's appointment a couple days ago or yesterday or whenever that was, and I thought the nurses were great. Yeah. I thought I'm waiting too. Yeah. So because I know your reaction and how so I'm just going, no, we're going to do it. No. I'm just, come on. And they were great. And, everything about them, they were great. And it just,
Yeah. It does help that Dr. Mariver doesn't have a nurse with her like she used to. Yeah. So it's just an MA who doesn't really do much.
I guess I didn't put that together, but yeah.
Okay. So we don't have to go through that. But anyway, we're with you. We feel the anxiety and we so understand it. And just learning to work with it or get through it and just putting yourself first in those situations is so, it's just needed, like I'm exhausted after a week of all of that, just not sleeping good, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I know it's going to get better now, so. And
all the crap, I know you've read some really crappy stuff. I know you've heard some really crappy stuff. Yeah. All of that stuff. The truth is, there is a light.
Well, you gotta find the little nuggets of hope, right? You're like you were saying it. You do have to go. Well, somebody's done it, I'm going to do it too, or let it be me. And you just got to help your brain.
Fill yourself with that.
Yes.
Go, go listen to some other podcast, some podcasts that she's done, and listen. And the stuff isn't bullshit. She's not just making it up. She's here. It's not. Read the guide. Do that kind of stuff. It fills you
and not just
with what you
the
need.
thing is, also, I would say, is not just once. I read the same stuff every day. Yeah. I did the same meditation sometimes 3 times a day. Yeah. Like, I didn't have much, but what I had, I used. And I just really was like, how do I do this? So.
And we're excited about the guide. Talk to some great people about that, getting it in more hands again. Thank you. Oh,
go ahead.
Well, thank you to those of you who have downloaded the guide.
Yeah.
And I hope it's going to some awesome uses. We now have the ability to go ahead.
Yeah. No, you guys, I'm not the most technical person in the world.
We are not.
We can do gift cards now. So you can literally buy the guide and then email. They'll get a voucher, right? And they can then download it themselves.
Because we didn't want to have like the whole problem of somebody and they were just diagnosed and you say, oh, well, you got to buy that. No, you want to give them that as a gift.
Yep. And you can literally put a little note and just say, I hope this helps or whatever that is.
It's cool.
It's really cool. And I think, we're excited about that.
Yes.
So anyway, we know anxiety and Scanxiety is real and you guys can get through it. Mm-hmm. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, Lauren.